Morning to all the viewers and thanks for watching this video. Today we from group C8 we're going to present a video presentation on the topic of carbon adsorption on water treatment industry. So first of all, I'm going to introduce my group members. First of all will be...
Hi everyone, my name is Yumin Ted and my ID is 19499.
Hello, my name is Hashim Mahmoudi and my ID is 19553.
My name is Dinesh Kumar and my ID is 16799. Okay, so if you see, this will be the content which we're going to discuss further in this video. First, we're going to start at the introduction, and second followed by customer requirement, process flow description, process flow diagram, equipment list and unit description, results of lab experiment, economic analysis, second last will be safety consideration, and last but not least, the conclusion. So first of all, I'm going to tell about the introduction. So, what is activated carbon? So if you see, this is a diagram of the sample activated carbon which we can get in the market. So basically, activated carbon is also called as activated charcoal or activated coal or carbon activities, because its speciality is because it has a high degree of microporosity. And not only that, just 1 gram of activated carbon has a surface area of excess of more than 500 meter cube. And not only that, activated carbon is usually derived from coal and increasingly high porosity biocarb. So second, so this will be a general application of activated carbon in this industry today. Usually activated carbon will be used in a water treatment, and usually in-house we'll be using it during to do a water filtration and so on. And next about adsorption. This is an example of for the activated carbon adsorption. Adsorption basically is a natural process by which molecules of dissolved compound collect on and adhere to the surface of adsorbent solid. Usually adsorption occurs when the attractive forces at the carbon surface overcome the attractive forces of the liquid. So today in this project, which will be our objectives? Our objectives, we want to get a clean water which will be done from the activated carbon, because activated carbon because activated carbon is able to filter out the unwanted things, so that activated carbon is very useful in a water treatment plant. So next I would like to pass the floor to Hashim to talk more about the further details on this video.
So, my part is mostly about customer requirement. So, customer requirement is basically what is the use of activated carbon in our industry. What is the reason behind this? First of all, this is due to the rapidly growing cities, more and more use of chemicals in the agriculture industry, which is leading to wastewater which we just flow into the river, lakes and aquifers. So this is causing a threat to nature and the people as well. And this is degrading our ecosystem, decreasing the biodiversity in the planet, and last but not least, the surface and the groundwater quality is also decreasing, which we are used for drinking and filtration. So I have some stats for you. As you can see, about half the world's wetland has been lost. This is because ecosystem integrity has declined in about 25 million kilometers of rivers following the construction of dams. So these are basically some reasons which are making the fresh water available less and less. As you can see, this is freshwater fish species threatened in sector countries. As you can see, in Madagascar, it's like really high, around 30% of fishes are currently under threat of extinction. And but there's always a sign of hope, as restoration system has been done on River Thames, the Chesapeake Bay Basin, that are restored of freshwater ecosystem. So it means it is possible. So this is one of the biggest problems facing the world right now. It's the biggest emerging water problem in the industrial world, with traces of chemical and pharmaceuticals are not being removed properly by our industries, which they just wash out into the rivers and lakes. And this is leading us to think that the reuse of treated wastewater has become a valid option to minimize the water needs we are facing today in the world. So, what are the benefits of setting up a wastewater treatment plant? As you can see, the benefits are long term. It can save us on any expenditures as spill-ups. It will preserve our fish industry, and it will improve the quality of the people living around it who have their livelihood depending on the fishes. Moreover, it will give people better living and health conditions, provide safe drinking water after the water is processed from the wastewater treatment. So this is I will be talking also on the process flow description. A typical waste treatment plant is divided into three parts: the primary treatment, secondary treatment, and the tertiary treatment, which is also called the advanced process. Our main focus of this report will be on detailed explanation of how activated carbon is used in the wastewater treatment industry. So this is basically the PFD which I have found from a research paper. It basically describes all the primary, secondary, and the tertiary treatment which is happening in the PFD. And here is actually the granular activated carbon adsorption occurs here. Here is reverse osmosis and all the chambers, and this is the effluent which comes out of the plant. So what is the primary treatment level? This is a basic treatment. This involves separating portion of suspended solids from wastewater. At this point, the effluent will still contain some BOD, which is biological oxygen demand. But this level is sometimes referred as mechanical treatment. Basically, all plants start with a primary level and then they grow into secondary and tertiary levels. About the secondary treatment level, this is a further after the primary. So what it actually does is it removes the dissolved organic matter that escapes the primary treatment, which is left untreated by the first process. The biological process is then followed by additional settling tanks to remove more of the suspended solids. So now we come to the tertiary level of treatment, which is basically the advanced process in the water waste treatment plant. These are the few unit operations that are happening in this process, which is coagulation, filtration, and the one we will be focusing is activated carbon adsorption. Then there are some other also electrodialysis, reverse osmosis, ozonation, advanced oxidation process. So what is coagulation? The primary purpose of coagulation or flocculation, which we have studied in our sedimentation experiment as well, is the removal of turbidity of the water. As you can see, there are impurities in the water, and then we add a coagulant. What coagulant do is coagulant form precipitate and traps all the impurities together, and then due to them being together, they settle down towards the bottom of the tank. Next is a precipitation, which is heavy metals removal. Which are the heavy metals which are being removed? This can be cobalt, silver, cadmium, zinc, copper, and nickel. These are the few heavy metals which are removed, and they are removed by addition of lime or caustic to pH of minimum solubility. The heavy metals are precipitated out this way. So now we come out to the main part of our report, which is activated carbon adsorption. As you can see, this is one of the granular form of activated carbon. So many industries are using this method right now because it's very popular. Because most impurities can be removed by adsorption on activated carbon or synthetic active solid surface. The specific capacity of granular activated carbon to absorb organic compound is related to molecular surface, attraction, the total surface area available per weight unit of carbon, and the concentration of the contaminant in the wastewater treatment stream. So this is basically how we measure quantitatively this activated carbon. This is the basic relationship x over m Kc exponential 1 over n. X over m is the amount of containment absorbed per unit weight of carbon. C is the concentration of containment in the water stream. Kn are the empirical constants. So as the activated carbon is expensive also, so we need our process to be feasible economically as well. So for this, mostly In the plants, it is done regeneration, and mostly it is done through thermal regeneration. Because the regeneration process is a compromise between burning too much carbon and leaving unburned that clog the process. Depending on the type of carbon and furnace operation, weight losses of carbon during regeneration usually amount to 5 to 10% by weight of the carbon regenerated. And I think these are the basic methods we should keep in mind when we are designing our process to be economical as well. For the next part, I'll give to my friend Leo.
Good morning everyone once again. Okay, my part is to explain about the equipment list that we use in a water treatment system and for that unit description. And I will also include my part for economic analysis. As economic analysis is very important if you want to set up a water treatment or even if you want to come up with an outcraft. So first of all, I want to share you the list. As we know that if we talk about the water treatment plant and all, we only have a very small scale in mind. Actually, it consists of a lot of equipments. Some are major and some are minor. Some can be worked without minors, but it's very important to have a major equipment. So let me briefly explain you some of the equipment that involved in water treatment system. The first one is air blowers, water valves, mixer blending equipments, centrifuges, contractors, all the valve, all the things that handle with valves and pipelines. And another thing is before water get into that pipeline situation, what equipments are required? Such equipment like bar screen, pumps, filters, reverse osmosis system, tanks, RO vessels, and ozone generator. Actually got a lot more in the slide, but I want to explain you for the equipment description for major equipment. So let me move to the major equipment. Okay, first thing I would like to share you is a reverse osmosis system. We have been learning this reverse osmosis system quite long since our high school. Now, what is actually happening in there is a lot of trend. But basically, I want to share you about the membrane. The membrane, what membrane means? Membrane is a very thin layer that separates tiny particles from the liquid. So that's membrane is sometimes made up of polymer thin film composites and cellulose acetate and cellulose acetate, with the membrane material being spiral, wound and the tube and hollow file bundles together. So what is its function? So its function is to remove a total dissolved solid with the corresponding sustainable ability to remove many other undissolved elements. That's what we do for membrane. Let me show you a bit of a picture of reverse osmosis membrane. Okay, basically, as you can see from the diagram, this is the two chamber. Both apply the process of osmosis, and as you can see, the thin blue line actually represents the membrane. So this compartment is filled with water, raw water. Then a pressure is applied so that all the water is squeezed into this. So the water is squeezed through the thin membrane. Only thing left behind is the undissolved solid particles. And this is almost pure raw water. Then is again transferred to another chamber and again compressed to get more clearer, more better out of raw water. So this is the first step we apply in the reverse osmosis system. Another is UV sterilizer. You know from the word sterilizer what it do. So I want to mention about a UV sterilizer. UV sterilizer is a device. It consists of a UV source. UV source, and it is enclosed in a container of water. And a UV source is that had an electrical supply and it controls the power of the UV device. And plumbing connection to allow the water to have that installation system. What's the function then? The function is that it's used the water, it gives the UV light source to the water compartment and it concentrates the high dose of UV and increase the wavelength. What is the benefit of doing that? The benefit is to kill or remove the pathogens and any unwanted and unsafe element that cannot be seen by naked eyes. So that's the function of the UV sterilizer. Moving on to our lab experiment stuff, which is activated carbon column. My friends, both of them will explain briefly about this. I would like to go through again. And activated carbon can be produced not only by chemical means. It can also be produced from raw material such as like coconut shell, nut shell, rice husk, and many more. So why we choose activated carbon? Because activated carbon has a high adsorption capacity and a high number of transport pores. You know, right? As we know, activated carbon is mainly used in the filtration because it has that tiny pores which is very, very good for absorption. Moving on to the minor. Now I would like to describe for the minor equipment. Minor equipment is something like in the water treatment, whether you use, if you could use is better, if you don't use it's not a big issue as well. So the first one is the bar screen. What is a bar screen? Bar screen is something iron rod, it's a conjoint of an iron rod, and it is applied at the first stage of water treatment where you take water, raw water from the reservoir. What's the function of this? The function is to remove the large solid particle like plastics, some containments, and many other things. An air blower. Air blower is a type of a fan. It's nothing to do with the transport system. Just the air blower. What air blower do is it's constructed as a grid chamber and it supplies air to keep the organic particle in suspension, yet allow the jet to be very settled. Okay, now I would like to relate this equipment and description with my experiment, of our lab experiment. And this is the result that we have obtained. From the result we can see that we have prepared for 3 different concentrations of methyl blue solution and 3 different concentrations of 5, 10 and 15 milligram per liter. And we also add the activated carbon of different mass. Then we wait for some interval of time till 120 minutes. What we can see from the outcome is the concentration is gradually decreasing over the time. When it comes to after 120, the graduation is very constant. It's reducing, so we stop at 120. The same thing goes for 10 and 15 concentration as well. So we jot down all these results and we plot for another graph. Another graph is C over C0 graph. And as you can see, we use the same concentration and same time interval. And also again, we have that fluctuative, but it is gradually decreasing all the values. So we have come out to plot with, we were able to plot the graph, but the graph was very fluctuative with different points. So what we do is we first plot the graph of C over C0 against time. And 3 colors represent the 3 different concentrations of methyl blue solution. And as you can see from both graphs that their fluctuation is quite high, especially the one with the 10 milligram. It's like jumping from down, then going up again, then jumping down. It's very fluctuative. Then I would like to move on for economic analysis. Economic analysis is very important in order to start a business or in order to continue your process. You have to take under consideration of many other economic analysis, such as the maintenance cost, your setup cost, your end-up cost, and your material cost. So basically, I want to tell you about is the plan in how this plan can be like come into a range of how much in the market. So firstly, I gather some information and I come up with a range like these are the 3 different water treatment plants, and there are many more, but the price is between 20,000 to 50,000. It depends on the quality, and it depends on the system, and it depends on the process equipment that they use inside the plant. So basically, the economic is around 20,000 to 50,000. Moving on to the material. The raw material is a lot of things to use, but very generally, I want to describe quickly, is this anionic polyacrylamide. This is very common use for water treatment system, and all these things can be obtained in a price range of between $320 to $460 US. So that's all for my part. I would like to continue. I would like to request my friend to continue with his part. Thank you.
Okay, so now it's me again. So I would like to talk about the safety consideration. So if you see, when we are dealing with a plant, we need to consider about safety. So same goes to like this water treatment industry. We need to consider about safety. So because without a proper safety, we can't be handling the treatment in a proper way. So if you see, the operation at wastewater treatments works give to potential hazard emission. For example, like in a plant, it will give a flammable gases, vapor, toxic substance, and also microbial aerosols. So we need to find a good solution to cut down this kind of toxics which is hazardous to us. So basically, these are the general approach to control this kind of emission. First of all, maybe we can control the by discharge into the sewers. Okay, discourage the formation of toxic gases, isolate the end of the sewer, and also select the unit operation and the operating practices that minimize the emission within the treatment works, and also last but not least, prevent emission works by enclose the operation at negative pressure. So finally, we have come to the last part, which is the conclusion part. So if you see, activated carbon is able to give a clean water, but not only with activated carbon, but also need like other substances like previously mentioned by my friend in the video just now. So basically, activated carbon able to do a drinking water treatment. So and also activated carbon filtration is an effective method for treating certain organic compounds and also unpleasant tastes and odors and also chlorines. And last but not least, activated carbon filtration system should be selected based on water analysis and assessment of individual homeowners' needs and also the situation. So before I end this video, we as a group, we have found out that activated carbon is one of the good solution to do a water treatment and to get a clean water. So before we end the video, we would like to thank all the viewers who are watching this video, and also last but not least, our coordinator for this course will be Dr. Taslima and Dr. Munir. Thank you.